Hello everyone, and thank you for watching my YouTube video. If you would like updates on future videos on everything real estate, showings, open houses, closings, how to build a book of business, studying, notes, all of the in between, please like and subscribe so that you can stay tuned to those updates. I will try to post regularly. I am new to becoming a real estate agent, and I am going to give you a little insight on if becoming a real estate agent is the right move for you, why it was a good choice for me, and some things that they don't necessarily tell you about when you decide to become a real estate agent. So I will make a separate video on all of my notes and my studies, but just to give you a little background of my experience and what I personally have noticed. So there are a few things that you need to know first and foremost. One, you have to complete the 77-hour course. I took my course through Aceable Agent online. They had a few different packages. I am a hands-on learner and a visualizer, so I need to touch it, feel it, do it myself, and experience it myself. I can't just read paragraph after paragraph and then click to the next page and keep going and going. I won't retain the information that way. So I did pay for an upgraded package that had webinars and video tutorials. They had pictures and diagrams, and those kinds of things really did help me. And what I will also say is that there are 2 exams. You have to pass the preliminary exam first before you can take your final exam. You only have 2 attempts to take the preliminary exam. If you fail those 2 attempts, you have to take the 77-hour course all over again. I personally felt that the preliminary was fairly easy. I've heard a lot of people say that the preliminary was harder than the final exam. I did not experience that because I took a lot of practice tests, and I started to notice that a lot of the questions were almost generally the same and they were repeated. So when I went in for my preliminary, I'm like, know that one, and I felt it was kind of a breeze. The final exam I personally thought was ridiculously hard, and I did not pass the first time. And do not let that discourage you, because I hear that a lot of real estate agents have not passed their final exam the first try. What I have found helped me wasn't necessarily reviewing my notes through Aceable Agent. It was actually watching YouTube videos and subscribing to other channels and hearing their insight and doing practice tests through YouTube that I found really helpful, because a lot of those questions seem to be a little similar. And when it comes to the final exam, they do twist the words up in the questions to purposely try to trip you up. So I will post a completely separate video on all of my notes and my experience taking the final exam. But for this, we're just going into the basics. You take your 77-hour course. Then you take the preliminary. When you pass the preliminary, then in front of a proctor, which you can do at like a local library or something. And then you take your final exam. In hindsight, I probably should have waited to interview with brokers after I got the results for my exam, because I had to wait almost a month and I just didn't like keeping them in limbo. But because I did not pass the first time, I had to schedule the exam, take the exam, wait 2 weeks to get the results from the exam. And since I didn't pass, then I had to sign up again, retake the exam, and wait another 2 weeks to get those results. So it was approximately maybe 5, almost 6 weeks that I was waiting to get started with the broker. So I guess it just depends on your personal preference if you want to interview brokers before you take the exam, or if you're just going to wait till after. But I wanted to get the ball rolling, so I did. And when I got that notice, I picked the brokerage that I wanted to go with. And I am extremely pleased so far with the training program. I will say this about interviewing with brokers: they all want you. You are interviewing them. They are not interviewing you. And a lot of agents think to ask the one biggest question: what's your commission split? Everybody wants to know what they're going to make. But what they don't necessarily tell you in a lot of brokerages that I've personally experienced is the training and the other fees and costs. They don't tell you about the website or the advertising, the business cards, and all these additional costs that you need to put into working at their brokerage. I love Century 21 Tushy Realty. They have been great with their training so far. Their commission split is fairly the same across the market, but I personally think it's wonderful. And the biggest thing for me is that they, as a brokerage, really try to help push their agents to becoming the best agent that they can be. And that's not just through the training, but they have covered a lot of the costs of the website and the advertising, the for sale signs, the professional photos, business cards, all of that kind of stuff. So that is another factor into deciding what brokerage you're going to choose and what is the right fit for you, not just the compensation and what your commission split is. Another thing that I've noticed in a few other brokerages that I've interviewed with is the training. I will not say the name, but I will say that they very much hyped up the training and how they have their own client list and they do all these webinars and training sessions, but I personally can't learn that way. I do not feel that being in front of a conference room in front of hundreds or 20 other different sales reps and just watching or listening to someone speak is going to be that personal relationship that we're trying to build here. And when it comes to real estate, it's not just about Facebook marketing and advertising. It's about connection. It's about building relationships and building clientele. I would like to experience that myself so that I can ask one-on-one questions about showings and open houses. I want to attend things and I want to be in the mix with these clients that are looking to list their home or looking to buy a home. So I want a one-on-one experience, not a webinar. So that is entirely up to you on what works best, but I know personally for me, training, becoming a new agent is extremely important. So I chose Century 21 Tushy because of their in-depth training and their growth potential. It's a very established, well-known company. They get a lot of listings. They have a great reputation, and I am very honored to be a part of that. Some other things that they don't necessarily tell you about is all the New York State dues and fees to be on the MLS and the lockbox and all that stuff. So when you take your 77-hour course and then you take your preliminary and then you take your final exam, you're like, yes, I'm getting my license. I have a broker in mind. I'm ready to begin, start training, and I'm going to close these deals. You have to pay approximately $1,500. Sometimes it's prorated depending on when you sign up during the year, but you have to come up with these fees up front before you close that deal to get the money back. So you need to decide if you have that money to put down for the schooling, to take the preliminary, the application fee to take the final exam, and then, of course, the dues and fees. If you don't have a professional photo, then you have to pay for a photographer so you can start putting your portrait up on all of the social media websites. You have to create a social media page, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is, but you need to start building yourself so that people can reach you. They can learn about what you are doing. Those are just like the basics into what you need to know if you're even deciding to become a real estate agent. And just some food for thought, if you are looking to become a real estate agent for a get-rich-quick scheme, it's not going to work. I formerly was a paralegal and a digital marketing manager before COVID. And once when I had my son, I've been a stay-at-home mom, but I'm a working girl. I love to work and I'm very sociable, so I felt that there are certain characteristic traits that I had that I thought I would be really good at this. But I also had the capability of being able to jump into something like this because I also own a business on the side in children's entertainment, and I am the owner and manager of it. So I am familiar with having to do my own taxes, having to do my own marketing and advertising, working with clients and traveling throughout the entire central New York area. In addition to that, I know about having to invest in yourself before you see your return. And I knew for me that I had the time and the flexibility because my husband is working, and since I'm a stay-at-home mom, I had the availability to be able to answer emails, answer phone calls, to update my social media platforms so that I can start working up to getting clients and then closing some deals and then making a profit. But you have to understand that you are an independent contractor. You will have to do your own taxes. You have to market yourself. You have to create your own social media platforms. And you have to know the area. You have to know how to invest in yourself before you see a return. So if you're looking for a, full-time job and I need money now, it might not be the best option for you. I mean, to each their own, and you do whatever works out for you, but you will need the time to study. You will need the time to take these exams. You will need the time to interview with brokers, and then you need the time to train and invest a large portion of the funds up front before you can start seeing that return. But if you really do have a passion for it and you feel that you will kick butt doing this, then take that jump. I'm telling you right now, you'll be so proud of yourself. I haven't been this happy in a very long time in career-wise, and I am so excited to begin. And thank you for watching this channel, and stay tuned for a lot more good information, a lot more beneficial stuff that I will be posting. But for now, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more.